Welcome back, Donique's Diary fam. Today I just want to do a quick short video. Um I don't think it's something like a vlog, I don't know, but I just had some thoughts before bed that I wanted to talk to. So join me while I sip some tea. And I just wanted to talk to you all, just an encouraging word. I really wanted to talk about it today before I went to bed, and I was inspired by my Howard sister, Aisha. She has a YouTube page, and she kind of talked about it a few months ago, and I was like, I want to make a video in regards to that video. And she was talking about toxic family members and how some family members can be toxic and just not supportive. And she basically was just talking about her journey into even going to college. Sorry, I'm trying to fix it. Just going to college, and how her family was just like, well, you have a government job. And you know, she, just like me, was a transfer student to Howard, so we were in our early 20s, very early 20s, but it's never too late to go to college. And I want to talk about it too, like, don't let toxic people, especially in your family, discourage you from achieving whatever goal you want to. This morning, me and my mother talked. We talked this morning like we do every morning or every day. You gotta drink your tea before bed. But we talked today, and I just recently lost my grandmother, like I mentioned in other videos, and I was very, very, very tight and close with my grandmother. Like, she was another mother to me. So we're going through this grieving process together, and it's something she's experienced before with her great-grandfather. Well, my great-grandfather, her grandfather. That was her father. She was very tight with her. So this is the second death that has, by somebody that really has impacted her. And also she lost her bishop, my bishop too. So it's a lot of grief going on. I sent her a video, and I will link it below. Crystal Hurst, and it was just perfect. She released videos every Sunday, and it really ministered to me about grief and how that we will have a hole. And I just had to realize that I will always have a hole in my heart for my grandmother, because I can't get up and call her no more. Like, she was my ride or die. Like, my grandma, she was my ride or die. Like, she wouldn't do anything for me or her grandkids and kids, like, or her family. She loved her family. She was feisty, sassy, talk mess, but she loved us, and she loved her family and friends. Like, they were her. She knew a lot of people. Like, she loved people, and she loved her family, and I know she loved me. But back to what we were talking about, how my mom, she's in her 60s now, and she's been a nurse all her life. She hasn't been working for a few years because I have a brother with autism. Her son, he has autism, so she's his main caregiver. So she hasn't worked as a nurse. She was a medical coder before she got laid off. But she's talking about going back to school, and I'm just like, yes. Like, I've been trying to get her to go back to school forever, because she always wants to be a LVN. And, well, really a RN when she was young. Before, like, she was a nurse before I was born. She, in high school, she was a little candy striper. I think they still do those. But she was a candy striper, and I never met somebody who always knew what they wanted to be. Like, she said from a child, she said she wanted to be a nurse. And I'm just like, what a great gift to always know and have a passion and want to be in this certain field. Like me, like, I'm still figuring out. Like, I thought social services was for me. I was a social worker. I was a teacher, but teachers don't make enough money. I love teaching. I love the preschool, but there's no money in that. So I went to, I'm still figuring out my way. I know entrepreneurship is for me. So now I'm doing things to get me to that, to work for myself. But I'm like, what a gift. And I'm just really proud of her that she's really serious. Like, you know, her husband's planning to retire, and I'm like, she's going to have the time to really take care of just herself. And I'm just like, go, like, whatever you need me to do, like, I'm here to help, because I know this is a heart desires of her. She loved working, she loved being out the home, but she's been home for years, because if you have a severely autistic child, you cannot go to work. A lot of special needs parents deal with that. A lot are forced into entrepreneurship because they can't just leave their child with anyone, because they have different behavior problems, and everybody cannot handle a special needs child and the different needs that every child is different, and especially special needs, there's different levels on the spectrum. So anyways, but I'm just glad that she's putting herself first. And we were just talking about you know, her and her goals and what she want to do, and I'm like, go for it. And she has a friend that's encouraging her and her as well. And we were just talking about, like, I don't know how we got on a topic of toxic family members, and we were just talking, and I don't want to call, you know, it's somebody dear to me toxic, but how our family can be toxic to us. And the reason she stopped school, she just went to get her medical assistant certificate or degree. I don't know how it was back in the 80s, but she was on her way to be an RN, I believe. And she was telling her family, like, oh, this is I have to take this many years of school and blah blah blah. And they, you know, her aunts and even mother was just like, it doesn't take all that sounds like a long time, you don't need that much schooling, and it doesn't take all that, because in their mind they thought you just go, back in the day, as my mom said back in the day, like, if you wanted a job at the hospital, you just go to the hospital and get a job. But we know these days it doesn't work like that. You have to get an application, most everything is online, and you need a degree for certain positions. And I just said, as a young child, I remember hearing that story about them, and I'm just cut differently. Like, I'm hard-headed. Like, you say I can't do something, I'm gonna prove you 5 million reasons why I can do it. Like, if it's gonna take me my whole life, I'm gonna do it. And that just wasn't her. Like, she gave in to the pressure of them. And not to be mean, I just didn't understand. And today I was telling her, like, now that I did find out some family members don't even have their high school diploma, I was like, they don't even know. Like, I knew they didn't go to college, and not to put them down, you know, that's my elders, but I just was like, they don't know. Like, how can you take their word? You know, like, they don't know about different, you know, but the fields they're in, and their jobs and titles were not, you know, they don't know about that field or know about certain things. But later on, my grandmother did tell me, like, these days you do need a degree, you need to go to college. And I was like, thank you, because she used to always tease me, like, Donique, you're so high-minded, why do you need to go to college, da da da. But later on, years later, when I came back, she was just like, these days you need to. And I was like, yes, grandma. But don't let, you know, and now she has kind of that regret, and I think that she quit. You know, my mom, we're very different. Like, she gave up, and me, I'm like, no. Like, I have family members who, when I was applying to schools, working late night, going to school in the daytime, working late, JC. I was going to a JC in the daytime, worked at Target till midnight, had class at 8 a.m. I would come home and then work on my missions stuff. And I had a cousin that was just like, you're really applying? Like, why are you trying to go so far? Like, I was like, I'm getting out of California. I want an experience. Although I'm a transfer, I still want the college experience. And I had friends that went away, and I was just like, I want to try something new, go somewhere different. And I'm glad I had that. And even when they were trying to discourage me, but they already know, like, I'm hard-headed, I don't care. Even people, well-meaning people, genuinely, you know, looking out for your best interests, will say, why do you want to do that? You know, they were kind of not knowing. But, and I get it, I grew up in a very sheltered, especially in church. Like, I had a lot of, you know, back to what I was saying, I had you know, a lot of women, even in my church, that was like, you never been far away before. They was really afraid because I was going to DC, a whole new city. They was just like, you're sheltered, da 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 da. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't think I could have went away at 18, especially with the financial responsibilities of going to school out of state. No, no, no. I would have been back home. So I believe like God does things at the right time. Even though we don't understand, I have friends that was graduating the same year I was going into school, and that was like 2007. And you know, people were just like, well, people, you know, I heard it all. I had some people tell me that a relative, that I was the Julissa from a different world. Like, I was like, first of all, I was not 27 and divorced, but it doesn't matter. I remember going to my friend's graduation. It was a lady in her 60s getting her bachelor's. Like, it's never too late. Today, Tabitha had on Instagram, Auntie Tabitha, she was like, it's never too late for whatever you want, whatever your dream is, because there's so many people that will pull you down. Like, some people, it's just like a crabs in a barrel. Like, just because you gave up on your dream, don't tell me to give up on my dream. Like, if it's what you want, you got to put the work into it. You have to do it, and it can be done. And it's like, I did it. Was it hard? Was it it was the hardest. It was, I won't say the hardest time. It was the hardest probably financially. Like, Howard, like, going to college, it's a lot of money. Like, it's a lot of money, especially going out of state and then not having that financial support from your parents. It's a lot. Like, I had to pay for rent in DC. It's very expensive, but it was so many lessons, so many blessings. Like, I had the best time of my life, just being exposed, going to a HBCU, the people I met. Like, I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. I still am friends with a lot of people to this day. Just being around just so many people from different backgrounds, different Black people, we're different. Just diversity in just the whole Black. I needed to experience that, to see that I could reach for whatever goal I want, to see successful people that look like me in all different fields, living well. Like, the media really plays Black people. Like, we're so, something I will make a video about separately, like going to a HBCU and the people there. But just to see it for myself and in person is so empowering, and I needed that in my life. I would love to go back. My mom was like, it's not too late. And I'm like, it's true, it's not too late to have that environment. But I just want to come and just encourage you. Like, so what? People are not going to like you. People are not going to like what you do. But if this something sits well with you and this is your dream, you're not hurting anyone, and like, if they don't pay, you know, so what? You figure it out yourself. Like, you figure it out and get it done no matter what. And I've done it so many times in my life. No matter what people, naysayers, they say this and that. Don't follow what other people doing. If they ahead of you, you don't know what people are doing. Like, I learned that early in life. Like, people put on, especially in this social media era, some people be lying, be stealing, doing all types of shady stuff to get where. And we're not jealous. Don't be jealous. Like, congrats to them, because your time, when it's your time, you will get it. So that's what I tell myself. Like, I always eventually get it, but my timing is different. And yeah, so just be encouraged. If you have goals and dreams, don't let toxic family members and toxic friends, like, friends, it's easy. You could cut them off. It's kind of hard sometimes with family, but not really for me. Like, it's some, I'm like, not to be mean, but I have to forgive you. And I do forgive you, but you will not have access to me in life ever again. Like, no. I'm very sensitive to negativity. Like, I cut it off quick. Like, I would be nice and sweet and act like I'm dumb and don't know if you said anything negative about me or somebody that I love. I would keep it cute because I have to, but no, you won't have access to me. So don't give up on your dreams. Don't let negative people speak ill to you. Get around positive people. If you have to be alone for a season, do it, and build your relationship with God, and listen to positive podcasts and songs, and whatever industry that you're in and make it happen. You could do it. I love the scripture. You could do all things through Christ. So make it happen. Don't let nobody steal your joy or try to steal your dream. All right. Good night. Take a break. Take a break. That is my business. Take a break, respite care on YouTube. Watch the video, my interviews. But yeah, this is Dinique's Diary. See, I got 2 YouTube channels. See, I'm hustling. It's time to get it. Like, it's out there. You know, listen to that song For Real Entrepreneur with Jay-Z. Like, oh, that song is hot. Entrepreneur. Like, yes. I always knew I wanted to be one. So from a child, you asked my mom, what did Dinique want to be? And I was an entrepreneur. So it's time to get it. I don't like working for people. I'm in too many toxic work environments and I'm traumatized. So I'm getting it. Love y'all. Good night. Bye.